Hey everybody, this is Chris McCabe of e-commerce. Chris with some suspension trends, things I'm seeing and hearing that worry me, alarm me a bit, that I see a lot of sellers doing or I hear a lot of people asking me about. And I just try to put these videos out there as quickly as possible just to stop people from making some serious mistakes that could hurt their business, suspend their account, possibly severely damage their appeals process if they're trying to strategize appeal. And one of them that I've noticed of late is virtual assistants, or VAs for short, who are doing lots of things that their account owners don't seem to know about. Doesn't look like they're being monitored very closely. This is certainly not meant as a slam on using all VAs. Some VAs are good, some are not. The point of this video is to make sure you're watching them, making sure that you know what they're doing, of course, on behalf of you, on behalf of the business. We've had a lot of sellers come to us with cases that might not even be fixable because their VA didn't know policies, didn't know rules. Maybe they were submitting compliance documentation and it got rejected. So they edited or manipulated or fabricated the documentation and resubmitted it. That, of course, is a code of conduct violation. It's also fraudulent behavior. You could lose your whole business over that, right? So you want to make sure that no one's submitting documentation without your say-so. No one's sending angry messages to Amazonians, seller support, maybe calling account health without being trained on how to interact with those teams. You can be flagged very easily for inappropriate contact or for code of conduct violations. In theory, they will only accept a dispute. They will only accept proof from you that it never happened, that you never violated those rules, broke those laws, committed those offenses. And you can't just say, we terminated our VA. We found what they were doing. We fired them. We terminated them. Here's the termination paperwork. Let us back on the site. It's not that simple anymore. Did we help people get reinstated in situations like that earlier this year, last spring, sometimes last summer? Yes, we did. Since then, hundreds, if not thousands of sellers have had problems with either employees or virtual assistants doing things that the owners and the CEOs, let's say, of the business didn't know about. They weren't watching them. They weren't regulating their behavior. They gave them too much freedom, too much latitude to handle sometimes very crucial things tied to your business. Could be policy violations, could be, like I said, compliance documentation, sometimes interacting with Amazon teams, right? Well, if you rub Amazon the wrong way enough times, they will retaliate with a suspension if they think your behavior is bad, if they think the behaviors are continuing. It gives them the sense that no one's minding the store, right? VAs have been left in charge. No one's keeping an eye on them. Account ownership is effectively absent, either just because cost-cutting measures, you're looking for cheap labor, you found VAs who weren't going to cost you that much. So that took priority over good quality, solid work for you, which sends the wrong message to Amazon, right? They want to know you're in charge. They want to know that the buck stops with you. They want to know that you're in control and you're managing the behavior of your employees or your VAs. You've got some sort of monitoring system in place. Maybe some of it's automated, maybe some of it's manual. You figured it out. You weren't risking the entire account simply to have low-level, low-tier support in charge of managing your business for you. I can't tell you how many sellers I've talked to who are currently in desperate times because of something a lower-tier employee or VA did on their behalf, which they cannot undo. Amazon is forcing them to produce evidence to show that what they're accused of doing never happened. Amazon just made a mistake, got it wrong. You've been falsely accused. Well, you have to document that, right? You have to prove it. Otherwise, you have problems because the appeals get rejected. They send you generic copy and paste denials. You come back and say, why did you deny my appeal? And they say, well, you did tell us that you terminated somebody that behaved badly, but unfortunately, it undermined our confidence that you're handling your account or managing your business appropriately. You haven't convinced us it won't happen again, perhaps, but also you didn't prove to us that we were wrong and you are a dispute-only appeal. This has been a major revolution in how they manage appeals in 2024. The year is almost over, but honestly, I think this is here to stay. I don't think they're backtracking this anytime soon. The idea of setting in a POA or a plan of action where you admit fault for any type of offense where you lay out your improvement plan for any type of offense. I'm sorry to say those days are pretty much gone. A plan of action is only for certain things. Amazon doesn't want to read them anymore. They don't want to pick them apart and give you multiple chances to write another POA anymore. A lot of sellers still don't know that and haven't gotten the memo, or they're hiring services that have generic copy and paste template POAs, plans of action already written, and they don't want to go back and do them over, or they don't want to up their game when it comes to the appeals process. So they're still peddling this stuff. Those are outdated, antiquated appeals. And if you're still sending them in, it just tells Amazon that you don't know what's going on and you're not educated or up to date on what the new appeals process is. Maybe that's understandable in certain contexts that kind of don't care. So any questions on that? As always, I'm here to talk to you about suspension trends at e-commerce Chris. Best of luck and bye-bye.